Last time out at Oswego Speedway, we saw a chaotic race on the dirt, and it was Chris Jericho getting his first win on the season. And we gotta see what he can do here today and see what that Spy Motorsports team can do, with 2 out of 3 trucks getting a win in the first 4 races. Here today, entering race number 5, we have a tie for the points lead between Logan Williams and Juan Garcia. 4 races down, still 12 to go, and it is getting spicy here in the Powerade Truck Series. It is race number 5 on the season at the Tricky Triangle for the Snapple Apple 150 at Pocono Raceway. What's up, everyone? It's the Buenos Race 97, aka Nathan Stapleton here, and welcome everyone to Pocono Raceway for race number 5 on the season, and the third and final race of, I guess you can say, this northeast swing. We went to Watkins Glen, Oswego Speedway covered in dirt, and now we are here at Pocono Raceway and for the Tricky Triangle, and this is going to be a fun one. I always like the Tricky Triangle of Pocono, 3 different straightaways, 3 different turns, and the draft is king here at this 2.5 mile triangle racetrack, and we're going to see how it all goes down in 20 laps in the Snapple Apple 150. And I will just say, as of this week one, I am dealing with allergies/a cold, so that will maybe affect me, but that's why we got a cook on there. We got Charlie up here in the booth again, and welcome to Pocono, and welcome to the Tricky Triangle.
Thank you, Nathan. I'm glad to be back in the booth, especially after that third lap at Oswego last week. This number 77, Chris Jericho, got his first win of the season. He's continuing that momentum here in the Pocono Mountains here, getting the pole. And like you said, it's a very close points battle. Logan Williams and Juan Garcia tied up at the moment, but Spire with Matthew Hubert leading that team on top of the box. They're looking very strong to start off the season. With that 77 on pole here tonight, it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes, but a very close points race going on. A lot of drivers being competitive, so I'm excited to see how this one goes here tonight. We've seen some great races so far this season. This one looks like it could live up to be another great one, and yeah, I'm just excited to see how this goes. Pocono is one of my favorite tracks to watch, so these truckers should have some fun tonight racing here.
Absolutely, Pocono is a very fun racetrack, and based off of how competitive it has been so far, only 4 races in, lanes have not really been able to progress exactly, but maybe, just maybe, Spire might be one of the top teams here in this Truck Series season. And like you said, Jericho won last week at Oswego Speedway in thrilling fashion with his teammate, and was battling from Nicholas Amdio, but for the second race in a row he had a problem. That time it was, I believe, a mechanical failure that took him out of the winning of a top 5, top 10 one, and honestly maybe even the win. So we gotta see what Amdio can do. But this is a tricky racetrack, hence why it's called the Tricky Triangle. What does Jericho or anyone else really need to do to try and get to victory after 20 laps?
Honestly, I feel like you just have to be patient here at Pocono. We've seen in real life fuel mileage finishes. You don't want to use your stuff up too quickly. There's going to be pit stops around lap 12, so you just don't want to be overeager early on in this race. You just want to get in your groove. And for a guy like the 77 of Chris Jericho, sometimes we've seen drivers in this series be very hungry and upset about something that happened last week, but if you're the 77, you got to win last week, but you don't want to try to overachieve too much here tonight. So I think these drivers have to be patient and run their race and just make it to the finish line.
Absolutely, Pocono can be a little bit chaotic, especially the first lap, and we gotta see how it all goes down. Logan Williams and Juan Garcia are tied for the points lead. Logan Williams still 19th here tonight, and Juan Garcia still 30th. So clearly, the reins are still not in full effect quite yet. Emily York Watson is in 3rd, minus 12. Ben Watson in 4th, minus 13. Nick Lopez in 5th, minus 19. Roberto Crown Jr. in 6th, minus 20. Matthew Burnett in 7th, minus 26. Chris Jericho up 15 spots after the win last week, and based off of Billy Sterling, he might jump up some more, minus 28. Anthony Hernandez in 9th, minus 29. And the defending champion of Jordan Stout and 10th in points, minus 30. And also tied with him is the number 33 of Ron Dwyer, also minus 30. And we gotta see how it all goes down. 20 laps, 12 laps on fuel, and we gotta see how it all goes down. It is the number 77 of Chris Jericho, his first pole on the season, and trying to go back to back in the Powerade Truck Series. Duncan Ward in second, Angel Gutierrez in third, Jordan Stout in fourth. Caleb Bowles has had a terrible start up to this point, and he's not last in points, but he's 31st, and had a vicious flip last week, trying to rebound here at Pocono. Felicity Mendoza won 2 weeks ago at Pocono, looking for win number 2. Anthony Hernandez and Carlos Miller in row 4, and then Nick Lopez and Alexander Lowe round out the top 10. And we gotta see how it all goes down. Very competitive starting lineup, as we gotta see what will go down. And as these truckers will roll off, this is a short race, only 20 laps here tonight, 12 laps on fuel. And who is still picked to win race 5 on the season at Pocono?
I'm going to have to go with this number 19 of Jordan Stout, the Season 5 champion. I'm liking how McNally looks coming into this race. He got a couple trucks up here. Like you mentioned, Caleb Rose not doing too hot in points, but they got 2 trucks up here. So I'm going to go with that number 19. Starting on that outside line, we'll see if he can get to the inside line here early and get that win.
I like that pit. It's been an up and down start for McNally. Some ups, some downs. Stout and Crouching are looking very competitive up to this point. Of course, Smith Oskin won at Daytona, and then it's not been the best of starts for Caleb Rose, but he definitely looks like he has speed here today, and looks like it's a 19 and a 91 with speed for those 2 drivers, and we gotta see how it all goes down. Of course, like I mentioned, Logan Millen still all the way back in 19th. Emily Ewell-Watson third in points, only 12 points behind, still inside the top 13, I believe, here today. And then all the way in the back, we got the number 7 of Juan Garcia starting 30th. So he has a lot of work to do here if he wants to be in the points league contention leading Pocono. And of course, I will briefly mention we have the Richard Hollywood Stapleton Shroud last weekend. What an event that was. And Ben Watson was able to get the win up there. And he's trying to keep up that momentum. Here on the inside lane, starting in 21st position. It will be last week's winner of Chris Jericho on the pole position. And alongside will be Duncan Ward, another driver that I think was up front at one point in that Oswego race. And we'll see how it all goes down. But we have 4 different winners to kick off the season. Will Jericho or Mendoza, both inside the top 6, get win number 2. It is race number 5 on the season. And it is the Snapple Apple 150 at the Tricky Triangle. We are racing at the Pocono Raceway. Oh no, there goes Hernandez! Emily Ewell-Watson unable a big crash off turn number 2.
I'll tell you right there, Nathan, I saw that one coming from the first turn. Huge tuck-ups coming out of turn 1, and from there, running 3 wide, that's not going to quite work. Got pinched into that outside wall, and that's going to bring out the first caution here on lap 1 in the Snapple Apple 150. And it's going to be some hard hits for that number 11, the number 2, but when I tell you I saw that one coming, I knew it was going to happen either on lap 1 or lap 2.
Yeah, 3 wide doesn't really work out that easily at Pocono, and unfortunately Octavian Speeds with a terrible start again and unable to hit. Hernandez, Shane Canyon just had a top 5 win at Oswego last week, and Eli Bright and Zachary Fitzwater all the way down onto the pit lane. Now this is going to be very interesting with the strategy part of it, because it's about 12-13 laps on fuel. If these guys pit, then that would stretch it to lap 14 to lap 15. and they would probably be able to do a splash and go. And we gotta
Yeah,
see if that ends up being the case here.
I feel like I feel like some of the guys will come down here, but honestly, I feel like you stay out here. I mean, it pushes it to around lap 14, but honestly, I just don't think you really risk it. I mean, it looks like most of them are going to come down here, but I mean, if I was one of these drivers, I would take the chance and just take it to lap 12, because regardless, you're going to have to pit. But that splash and go does have quite the effect there. But you hate to see it for that number 42 of Eli Bright. A very, I guess you could say, frustrating start after that Charlotte race start to the season for him. And now he's got some damage on, and he's on pit road with an early caution here at Pocono. But it looks like everybody's going to bring it down here. So nobody going to really test the waters here, it looks like. So, yeah, probably we'll push it to around lap 14. Then we'll see where these teams go from there.
Yeah, most likely these guys gonna pit on lap 2 coming to lap 3, so probably around 14, 15. And that might be the case of doing a splash and go in that scenario. So that's gonna be interesting of how it all goes down. And looks like it's gonna be tires for some,
Oh,
fuel for
splash and go for some.
others.
Rose is coming off.
Oh!
Oh, huge contact. Carson Miller into the number 2, Anthony Hernandez on pit road. Caleb Rose is going to win the race off pit road, followed by the 88 of Nick Lopez. And as more come off, that's hard contact there for that number 75 of Miller. Looks like he should be fine. We'll see how it goes on his restart, but very interesting differing strategies here. Some took fuel only, some took tires. This one shakes up the rest of this race now, and this makes it way more unpredictable now, Nathan.
Well, the strategy part of it's going to make this thing really interesting, and also, look at the 42. He is, I believe, going to be on the lead lap, maybe? We got to wait and see, but what a strategy call there.
Yeah.
Some fuel only, some 2 tires as well, and it will be Caleb Rose. 31st in points, going to be the race leader here. Let's go ahead and see what happened for the first caution of the night on lap number 1 for the Snapple Apple 150. Here we go, this is what happened to bring up the first caution of the night here at Pocono on lap number 1, and a lot of trucks just slide up a little bit in the tricky tunnel turn, and right here, the number 19 last year's champion, Jordan Stout, hits the wall just enough, sends him back down into Anthony Hernandez in the number 2, and this is going to be a wide before Anthony Hernandez gets hit by the 0-2 of Emily York Watson. A big shot for Aaron Abel right there, and he's going to hit hard into the inside wall. Eli Bright with a huge hit to Hernandez there, taking speeds as well, and that T-bone shot sent the two on his side with a little bit of airborne. Nowhere to go for Shane Kane, and the track is blocked.
At 38, oh my lord.
Oh, yeah, that's a bad spot. The track got blocked right there, and multiple trucks involved. 13, 11,
that 15. Make it
15,
through.
and the 2. Well then, let's go ahead and take a full speed action replay there with a multi-truck incident to kick off the night on lap number 1.
As we come into the full speed replay here, that number 2, Anthony Hernandez, just running his line, but the Season 5 champion, Jordan Stout, runs out of room, hits the outside wall, and that's just going to cause melee from there. You see the 11 hard hit. That 38 somehow makes it through. But, yeah, that 11 didn't retire from this race and finished pretty decent for what they went through. So not too hard of a hit to the inside wall there, but you see in full speed there, just all calamity going on there in the tunnel, out of the tunnel turn actually. And yeah, that's what brought out the first caution here today at Pocono Raceway. You hate to see it for that number 2 just running his line, but that happens here in racing. Another guy's mistake can end your day.
Absolutely, and we gotta see how it all goes down. Top weight for guys like Fitzwater Bright, Speens, another bad day, and Apple, Hernandez, just so many good trucks got taken out on lap number 1, and we gotta see of how it all shakes out with some strategy here. And let's go ahead and get back to restart for the Snapple Apple 150. Welcome back to Pocono Raceway in the Snapple Apple 150, and, well, what a way to kick things off here tonight with a lap 1 incident, a multi-truck incident in between turn 2 and turn 3, and we gotta see how this all goes down, because there's a lot of shakeups. You got Bright and Fitzwater that pitted basically when the caution came out to fix the damage, but they didn't have a ton, it looked like. And then you also got some people that took tires and fuel, and some that took fuel only. So, a lot of different strategies here early on here at Pocono, and regardless, no one can make it. They will probably have to pit around that 14, lap 15, and then that will open up the floodgates of what kind of strategy we will see. It will be Caleb Rose, Nick Lopez, William Ayers, Angel Gutierrez, Jonathan Warren, Felicity Mendoza, Eli Bright, the 75 of Carson Miller, the 56 of Ben Watson, who looks like he has some damage, and then Chris Jericho rounds out the top 10, same with Dio, trying to finally get a top 10 after the last two struggle bus type of weeks at Watkins Glen and Oswego. And we gotta see how this all goes down. Gonna have 3 trucks out of Hernandez, Octavian Speeds, and Shane Kane, who had a great standout one at Oswego, but is going to be in the garage early. 29 trucks left, and we are back going with 16 laps to go here in the Snapple Apple 150. Uh-oh. Eli Bright is off the pace.
Yeah, Bright there. I was a little skeptical about how fast that stop was, and he's off the pace now. There goes that number 32 of Felicity Mendoza now. 3 wide. Oh, Wong's going to get into that number 41 there. They keep it going for now, but back behind them, they're getting really racing behind them as well. But as we go into this tunnel turn, will it cause issues again? That 41 bumping doors with that 27 again. And that 32 of Mendoza on the inside. And it looks like they're going to clear them now, so still side by side between those two. And there goes that 88 now of Nick Lopez to the lead, passing Caleb Rose as William Ayers follows through.
Nick Lopez had a very consistent season in the Krispy Kreme National Series with the same owner from that series. And you gotta be kidding me. Is someone going down pit road? I thought I saw someone. I might have been Sam Deal again. You gotta be kidding me. It was Sam Deal and Juan Garcia back down pit lane, and now that's gonna mean they won't be able to make it for me. William is side by side for the race lead, and I don't know if they did something to make the officials mad. That might have been a restart violation with a slow Eli Bright, not sure, but William is going to the race lead.
William Ayers into the race lead, but here comes Caleb Rose in the tunnel turn, looking for the lead to the inside of this number 5 of Ayers, as there goes Mendoza, looking for third behind on that number 18 of Nick Lopez.
Mendoza trying to get 2 out of 3 races in the Northeast Swing and become the first driver with multiple wins.
There we go, still side by side on the front stretch. Does Mendoza make it 3 wide going to turn 1 is the question. And they're probably thinking about it as Rose is side by side with Ayers still. But look at that 88 of Lopez too, trying to get in line now. And there goes that 32 now, going to look for the lead. No, not quite. That number 91 shuts the door. But these guys are getting really racy now here at Pocono Raceway, starting to spread out a little bit now. But these guys up front here, very tight quarters racing. But for Spire, that number 7 of Juan Garcia coming down pit road, you hate to see it. And that's likely going to give Logan Williams and that number 17 for Tricon Garage the points lead. But there goes Mendoza now to the inside. And so far, Nathan, it looks like that tunnel turn is the preferred spot to get the pass off.
Definitely. It looks like that tunnel turn is really the one turn on the racetrack, but it's really inside lane dominant. There's this 2 lanes in 1 and 2, and well, in turn 1, and there's 2 lanes in 3 and 4, it looks like. So if you really want to make that pass, you gotta make it in turn number 2. Mendoza out front, Rose and is the top 3. Watson just won the shootout last weekend in amazing fashion. He's now inside the top 5. Wong slips up a little bit. Here comes Jericho. I believe he was one of the drivers on 2 fresh tires, so gotta see how that shakes out here. You got the number 9 of Josh Winston, Duncan Ward, and the 52, Angel Gutierrez, Carson Miller. How about Mackenzie Festico in 11th, Jordan Stout in 12th, Alexander Woe in 13th, And then Dewani and Sestwai, their other two Ram trucks, running at the top 15. Clown Jr. being fairly consistent, running inside the top half of the field. And just so competitive throughout this 32 truck grid. But we're almost halfway through lap number 9 now of 20, and Mendoza trying to get win number 2 in 5 races.
I will say, Nathan, it looks like tire wear or something is starting to kick in, as the pace looks very different with some trucks compared to others. As we saw just back then, I forgot what truck it was, but they completely zoomed past them. And now here we go again. Here comes this number 5 of Ayers battling with Rose, and here comes that 56 as well of Benny Watson. He's getting a push from behind from that 77, it looked like, for a second. But as it goes to this tunnel turn once again, inside line dominant turn, and there goes that 56, but that 77, the pole sitter of Chris Jericho, looking very hungry right behind him, looking like he wants to get all the positions he can right now. And there goes that number 5 past that number 91 of Caleb Rose to move into second. But that 32 of Mendoza is still controlling, and they're starting to build a gap here.
Mendoza's pulling away. I'm starting to wonder if Mendoza was a truck that took 2 tires. And I think that might be the case for the 77 as well, for sure. It's very mixed strategy. And you mentioned Tyler. There is some Tyler. Even though it's only 12 laps on fuel, there is enough Tyler here at the one-out surface of Pocono. And these guys gotta manage it here. And, you know, I don't think they will do this, but they could pit now, this time by, and they would be good on fuel. So, 10 laps down, 10 to go at the line. Watson side by side with Caleb Rose. And Rose into the outside wall a little bit, but that should be no harm, no foul. Jericho and Wilson catching up to him as well, and a massive sin from Nick Lopez.
Nick Lopez to the inside, looking to get a 2-for-1 here. Trying to clear that number 91, and he will. That 88's got a lot of pace behind him now, as now he's going to try to catch up to that number 77 of Jericho up ahead. And that tire wear definitely is kicking in, as you said, Nathan. Even though it's 20 laps, this race is going to be very close. But, oh, that's 77. It's a very interesting line into turn 1 there. But here comes this number 5 of Ayers now, trying to close in on that 32 of Mendoza here. And they might give him a shot here going into that tunnel turn if they get a good run.
Ayers has several wins on the channel. 3 of them into his stats. 1 12 win, almost got to the inside there. Wants the second one here, and I really like this opportunity that Ayers has in this Tricon truck with Ryan Little, and he's going to make a move side by side for the race lead with 9 to go at the line. Ayers and Mendoza side by side, Jericho side by side for 3rd behind, and it's going to be a dogfight for this lap lead, and it will be Mendoza, I think. I actually don't know who led that lap. They're going to give it to the 5 by millimeters.
Give it to the 5 there. But I feel like that was a tie there. But, man, the racing up front here tonight has been flawless between all these drivers. There goes that 56 battling with the 77 now. But,
oh, no, the 27 goes around.
There goes one into the inside wall. The 27, he gets turned by, I believe, I'm not even sure who it was, and that's hard contact there. And that's quickly going to bring out the caution here, and it's going to be the 5 of William Ayers leading. But, man, oh, man, a hard hit to the inside wall there.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And, well, that's going to be perfect for everybody. 8 laps to go at the line. Pit now, and you will be good for a 5-6 lap dash to the finish. It will be William Ayers winning the race back to the line. Jericho try going for second. 2 cautions in a 20-lap span, and that's a heartbreaker for Jonathan Warren. I forget of who even turned them, but he was running top 15 at that point, and now he has a destroyed race truck.
Huge hit there.
Yeah, another big hit. My, oh my,
This is going to make the end of this race a dogfight. All these drivers are going to come down, get their tires, get their fuel, and this finish is going to be very, very interesting. We've seen some great racing already, but everybody on an equal playing field now, it's going to be very fun to watch.
In theory, they should all pit here, and with it being 8 laps to go, they should be good, and they should all do the same thing. Just take 4 tires, 2 full tires, take something, get enough fuel, and then go for the win. And that's kind of what I was hoping for to for Jonathan Wanlow, but now, like I said, the playbook is open, and we gotta see if what is gonna happen. Oh, Everyone's not gonna pit here. It's gonna be a
I
split
don't know about
strategy.
that.
I don't like that either. The spy towards the plane, the 71 and the 77, the
I'm not sure what
52.
these guys are trying to accomplish here, but I don't think it's smart, especially if we've seen how good the fresh tires are. And yeah, I'm scratching my head here at some of the decisions by some of these teams to stay out here. You have to hope they stick with this decision as we come to the restart. But a lot of guys stay out here about, I would say, 11 to 12 trucks here. And here comes the rest of them down. It's going to be led by that 77 and 71. They're all going to get service on their trucks. We'll see what they do here. And it looks like it's going to be that 45. Not 45 just did a splash and go.
Oh.
Oh my, I don't know about this.
Some stay on pit road longer. The 75 on pit road for a long time. And I think a couple other trucks. We got, oh my goodness. There's some tire, but I don't think these teams are worried about tire. They're worried about fuel.
Yeah. I think, now I'm pretty intrigued as why some of these guys stayed out. They might have enough fuel to spare, but I heavily doubt it. But now, this really shakes this one up because I'm not quite sure what the plan is. We saw a lot of guys do splash and goes there. I want to assume the 75 staying on a little longer was them repairing damage from that contact with the number 2 on pit road. We don't really know, but this finish, the name is a tricky triangle for a reason. It's throwing even more twist at us here today when it comes to fuel strategy, as now we have to see how the end of this race will play out, as a lot of guys take fuel there and a lot of guys just stay out, so could be a very fun one.
Gonna be very interesting. Gonna have about 5 laps to go restart, and we gotta see what is gonna happen. It's about 50-50 on who pitted and who stayed out. So let's go in and see what happened. We have the second caution here in the Snapple Apple 150, and then let's see if who can stretch on fuel here at the Pocono Raceway. Well, here we go. This is what brought out the second caution of the day here. And this is kind of a racing incident. The 27 got a good one on exit, tried to get inside of the 91, slowed down so he didn't wreck him, but in turn, Duncan had a huge amount of speed, and just a incident that could have been avoided, and a hard hit into the inside wall for Jonathan Warren for the number 27, slides back up the racetrack above the yellow line, and that will bring out our second caution of the day here at Pocono. Definitely for Jonathan Warren. Credit for him to not trying to take out Caleb Rose there, but in turn, he kind of takes out himself. Not really, but he sets up for that. So definitely for the 27, and a crazy day here at Pocono continues for the second yellow of the day.
As we come to the full speed replay going into turn 1 here, you see that 91 gonna try to he washes up a little bit, slows down that 27, tries not to hit him, and in turn is gonna get into the 52. The 52 has a huge run on him already. That 27 trying to avoid the 91 coming down, and it is just a racing deal there. At first I thought the 52 just completely cleaned him out, but Duncan Ward honestly had nowhere to go there, and that 91 arose. If you're that 27 of Wong, now as where you're at in this race, you probably hope that you maybe did a little bit of bump and run action on that 91, because now you have a lot of damage on your truck, and it's going to be hard to come back from it.
Absolutely, and we gotta see how it all plays out. Some mixed strategies, some trucks pitted, some trucks stayed out. Can these guys make it? Well, we have a fuel mileage finished here at Pocono. Let's go ahead and see what will end up happening with 4 laps to go in the race number 5 of the season in the Snapple Apple 150.
We are back here at Pocono Raceway with just 4 to go here. Next time by on the restart, it's going to be a 4-lap shootout to the end. And with the strategy leading up to this year, Nathan, it looks like it's going to be a dogfight to the end. Will these drivers that stayed out be able to make it to the finish? What do you think?
Oh boy, 4 laps at Pocono is fairly sketchy. That's a lot of miles. This is a 2.5 mile racetrack, and 4 laps is a long time.
very long time.
And I believe the top 13 stayed out. We did have a couple of trucks pit 2 caution laps ago, and then they unable pit the last caution lap ago, so this could be very stretchy on the fuel gambling factor of it. It will be William Ayers as the race leader, Mendoza, dominant truck of the day, in second, Lopez, Watson, Rose, Stout, the 9 of Williamson, Sustry, Major Gutierrez, Avery Alford, the 97 of Santee Messi, Eli Bright, Sam Badillo, all stay out. And then you got the 77, 71, and 17, the first 3 that pitted under this caution that we know are good on fuel, but the top 13 is a big question mark. With 4 laps to go at the line, commitment is stretched on fuel. It's a big ask at the Tricky Triangle.
This one is getting good here, Nathan. As we come to the restart, the pace truck will peel back down onto pit road. It'll be the number 5 of William Ayers leading us back to green. And it's going to be 4 more laps to go here in the Snapple Apple 150.
Oh boy, I forgot about Eli Boy having damage already. That's gonna maybe cost Sam Badillo here. And we'll see what ends up happening.
As well.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that 42 is ridiculously off the pace. Watson going 3 wide for the 3rd place spot. And these guys have to be careful back here, because if they wreck at this point, it is no return. But it looks like they should be good. 3.5 laps to go. Watson gets clear of Nick Lopez. Mendoza slingshot move entering the tunnel turn.
There goes Mendoza now in the tunnel turn, looking for the lead from the number 5 of William Ayers as Watson moves into 3rd. And that number 5 got a great run actually coming off the tunnel turn here. They're still going to be side by side here. Oh, that number 5, huge chuck up, they might be out.
Oh, the out fuel. The all out.
Going to bring it down pit road, and there goes that number 9 of Josh Williamson to the lead.
I don't like that call. They didn't pit under that caution. If they did, they would have been good. And now is Williamson out front. Can he hold off against, oh, I don't know, some of the best this year? Chris Jericho, Logan Williams, Nicholas St. Deal, Alexander Lowe. How about Matthew Burnett up inside the top 5, top 6, and the 77 as well? I knew that call was not going to be the right way to go about it. Now Lowe to the inside for the 4th place spot.
And there goes that number 71 on Alexander Road to the inside of Stamadillo, looking for, it's going to be 4th here, but back up front, that number 77 of Chris Jericho, the pole sitter here today, trying to get that number 9 of Josh Williamson, who has moved into the lead, but it looks like Williamson here is
they're all pitting.
Oh, no! And it's going to be the number 99 of Stamadillo moving into the lead. But
and
he's got that 45.
Okay, now I'm...
2 more to go here at Pocono.
Who has enough fuel?
Who can make it?
I could have sworn that they were able to make it. They put it under that second caution. And now here comes Watson. Emily York Watson up into the 3rd place spot. These tires are old here now at Pocono. And I don't know who is going to have enough fuel. Will this be the day, with all this chaos, for Sam Badillo to get his first truck win on the season and in his career? This is fuel mileage as fine as we were not expecting.
Leave that 75 Carson Miller's out as he's fading now, but the rookie Nicholas Samadillo trying to get his first Powerade Truck Series win here, and as they bring it back around one more time, it's going to be a white flag for Nicholas Samadillo. A fuel mileage finish. He's got that 45 of Matthew Burnett right behind him. In his 3rd season, will he spoil the rookie's first victory? Let's see.
Oh boy, I think the top 10, top 15 are good on fuel. 45 slips up, Duncan Wood gets a 1 off of turn number 1.
Ward to the inside, that number 45. Oh, Burnett now looking for a second. Can he chase down that number 99 of Samadillo as we go to the tunnel turn?
He's gonna have a shot. He's gonna send it. Samadillo slides up a little bit. If Duncan was gonna get to the inside, he will. Trying to do a last lap pass from 3rd to 1st. Duncan was gonna get it.
He's gonna lunge it in there. And Duncan Ward coming out of turn 3. He's gonna win the Snapple Apple 150.
What a final lap for Duncan was third to first, and Duncan gets the win here in the Snapple Apple 150. And same deal, I thought he was going to get it, but once again, he is going to have heartbreak in the northeast swing, but at least he gets the top 5 this time. Going to be a great second place one, and Burnett will be in third. What on earth did we just see here today? 2 wets, fuel mileage, and a last lap pass from third to first for Duncan Ward.
Man, oh man, what a finish there. I told you this finish was going to be crazy, but that might have been levels over what I thought was going to happen there. I mean, I don't know what these teams were thinking. It was a thrilling finish, but at the same time, if you're guys like Logan Williams who were in the perfect spot at one point, and now you're in a bad spot, you have to wonder, what was the crew chief thinking on the top of the box? Duncan Ward gets the win, but a lot of crews are going to be scratching their head after this one, thinking, what could I done better? But, man, oh man, that finish had me on my toes there, and what a race there. That will be an all-time classic there. And the Tricky Triangle, for sure tonight, brought out its bag of tricks.
Absolutely. And like I said, when that second caution happened, that was easily in the fuel window. 7, 8 laps to go. It was 12 laps on fuel. They would have been good to make it on fuel. And clearly some were, but most of the field were not. I'm stunned. Sam Dio, he stayed out. I think he might have, you know what? He had a violation of some kind earlier, and he was able to pit, and he was able to make it. So much twists and turns here at Pocono, and all of that, Juan Garcia gets a top 10 out of nowhere, and I think he's going to be the point leader still after tonight. Oh my goodness gracious. There's a rookie winning, but it's not the one that we were expecting. Duncan Ward with the win, Sam Dio in second, Burnett in third, Emily York Watson in fourth, Bradley Weem in fifth, Mackenzie Vestergaard last in points, was running top 15 all day to her credit, gets a 6th place one, Carson Miller in 7th, Juan Garcia in 8th, Samantha Oscar the Daytona winner in 9th, and Jonathan Warren got spun to bring out the second caution of the day, and he gets a top 10. What?
I have no clue how that happened, but we were to go over this whole race. It'd probably take me all night, but man, what a finish there. Start off with the number 13 of Shane Kane, 15 of Octavian Speedings, and number 2 of Anthony Hernandez. They get in a huge wreck there to start off the race. Eli Bright gets involved with that one. That plagues him all night. But, I mean, you look at the results here. We saw guys that were up here battling at one point for the lead in those final 3 laps, all the way back here in 22nd. Logan Williams, he was in a good spot. Nick Lopez, Alexander Rowe, that number 9 of Josh Williamson, he can still get the top 15. Ayers there, Jericho, but what a race there. Duncan Ward, he just had that extra juice at the end to get the win. But lots of great finishes. Juan Garcia, especially, that's a great finish for him, capitalizing on that chaotic one there. And we see a lot of interesting guys here. But once again, we got to shout this out. Emily York Watson, another great finish. Just a rookie here in the Powerade Truck Series, but they're quickly making a name for themselves, as this is going to be their second top 5 on the year after this one. And even that 76 of Mackenzie Vestergaard there. So just flat out, a lot of rookies here in this top 10 that all had very, very good days. Especially that number 27 of Wong, who took a hard hit, still somehow gets up here.
So many different storylines entering this race, and I'm just stunned of what we have seen here tonight. So many competitive race trucks, and I've said this a ton, this is a very, very competitive truck series field, and I think almost everybody has a shot to win week in, week out. So obviously there's some of the better ones that we are starting to see, but Logan Williams, he's gonna be right up there. He was on a 4 top 10 streak, and he was gonna make it 5 before he had to pit. I cannot believe what we've seen. While Garcia's gonna get his 4th top 5 in 5 races, or 4th top 10 in 5 races, and I'm just stunned. What a race here at Pocono. I was not expecting this level of craziness. Have it set for 12 laps on fuel, 12 to 13, and these guys had another thing planned for all the cautions. What a wild, wild race here. Duncan Wood gets the race win. Congratulations to Jack Haas and Hammer Reason Racing on the race win. What's your final thoughts before we go to Richmond next week for race number 6 on the season?
What a race. I'm excited for Richmond after this one. Gonna have some short track racing under the lights. Excited to see what guys prevail out of that one, but all we can take away from this Northeast swing is we gotta come back, because those were some great races we saw these past couple weeks. And now heading back down the coast to Richmond, we'll see who gets the win there. But I mean, if you're that 77 Chris Jericho, even if you didn't have the finish you wanted, you have a lot of momentum. He was close to getting the win there. And I mean, Spire as a whole, very close. So, I mean, I think you could just say Chevy as a whole, honestly. That 45, 76, 75, the 7, the 43, so many Chevy trucks did very good here tonight. And they are rolling on all cylinders here as we're going to be heading into race 6, I believe it will be at Richmond.
Absolutely. And we gotta see how it all goes down here with a unique stretch of, I believe, Richmond, Nashville, and Minneapolis Victory Park for the next 3. So this is just a very unique schedule this year, and this is going to be down to the wire with how competitive it has been. Congratulations to Duncan Wood on the race win. Thanks for Charlie Davenport for joining me up here in the booth here at Pocono, and we will see you guys next week, underneath the lights for some short track racing at Richmond Raceway.